So I just got back from presenting to a group of grade 6 students, 11, 12 years old, on entrepreneurship.
The fundamentals of business.
Now, first of all, I've spoken to a lot of different audiences, and speaking to a group of 11 and 12-year-olds was probably the most intimidating thing I've ever done. They were great, but there was just something about speaking to this group of kids that was scary.
Well.
And as I was driving back, I was thinking, these kids are going to grow up in a world where robots
Robot monster
are going to change everything. The economy tomorrow and in 10 years and in 20 years is going to look very different than it does today. And so I thought I would make a video on how to save your kids from robots. If you don't have kids, this video is still going to be applicable because the trends I'm talking about are already underway. Right now, McDonald's is replacing its front-end staff with automated ordering kiosks.
Select your burger and choose the type of meal. Upsize your meal.
Another big trend is that retail, a really traditional business for entrepreneurs, is being completely demolished by Amazon.
The threat of Amazon. Amazon is eating everyone's lunch.
Even big companies like Walmart can't compete. So what should you do if you're trying to start a business today, or if you're going to start a business in the future? In the old days, you would show up at your first day on the job, maybe it was in a factory, they would bring you to your station and they would say, here's what you need to do. And they would show you what you need to do. Maybe you need to pull this lever, push this button. Those days are gone. In the future, nobody's going to tell your kids what to do. They're going to need to be able to observe problems that exist and then figure out creative solutions to those problems. So if they go to work for a boss, it's not going to be enough for them to just answer email or even to do what the boss wants them to do. Instead, they're going to need to observe the boss and think, how can I solve my boss's problems? What is making the boss pull out her hair in frustration? And then they're going to need to go to the boss and say, hey, are you struggling with this particular thing? I've got a solution for you. Now that same skill set is what future entrepreneurs will apply to business. They'll observe a market and think, where are these people struggling? And how could I creatively solve those struggles? The next thing kids are going to need to learn how to do is to shorten feedback loops. Now, right now in school, they might be, studying for weeks in order to write a big test, or working for weeks on a project that they're going to submit and get a final mark for. But in the future, you're going to need to be able to test ideas out really quickly and get immediate feedback in order to know whether you should continue or not. This will mean creating a prototype, creating a landing page and seeing who signs up, being able to build the initial version yourself, and do it quickly. Don't build the whole thing right away, but build a small little piece of it or an initial version that you can then bring to real people and get their feedback on. Shorten feedback loops. And in fact, this is what the co-founder of Stripe said. Stripe is the biggest online processor of credit cards. John Collison said, the key to product success is being able to have short, iterative feedback loops.
One of the best things you can do is to shorten feedback loops so that you can iterate on the product quicker.
All right, the next skill your kids are going to need to succeed in the future, and it goes along with what I've just said, is they're going to need to be able to make things themselves.
Don't just play on your phone, program it.
You know, a lot of educators are pushing learning programming right now. And I think that's fine to learn programming. Programming right now is a really high-paid white-collar job, but in the future, I think it'll be more like a low-paid blue-collar job. Artificial intelligence will be able to take on a lot of the programming work we're doing right now, and that's going to drive down the prices that people are willing to pay for that kind of programming. But what won't go away is the need for people to creatively solve problems by making at least the initial version themselves with whatever tools are available. And so one way kids can practice right now is to think, how can I solve this problem myself using what I already know? So, for example, instead of opening a cupcake shop, maybe I just need to write a cupcake recipe and publish it online. Here's one more. Right now, a lot of business decisions are driven by quantitative data, statistics, surveys, etc. And in the future, a lot of that data is just going to be captured automatically by computers and analyzed automatically by computers. Humans are at a disadvantage there. But one place we have the advantage is with qualitative data, meaning the ability to relate emotionally with human beings.
Emotions are dumb and should be hated.
Being able to observe and listen to a real human being that has real needs, expressed in one-on-one conversations or expressed just through observing where people struggle. Emotional intelligence is going to be really important, especially since people buy products or buy services for one reason only, and that's because they want their life to be more awesome. And if you can empathize with that, if you can understand that ultimately what every human being wants is a better life, then you as an employee or you as an entrepreneur will be able to deliver those results.
It's not about personality matrixels and charts. It's all about the bumps in your heart.
I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and also share it. If you think this would be helpful for a parent you know or a kid you know, share this video with them. Also, leave a comment below.